Malungelo, the SABC was putting out figures last week of how much they can save with the job cuts that they plan to carry out. And they were saying that they are working in consultation with unions, but it seems the unions are not on board.
That's right. In fact, the unions are saying that there has been no proper consultations about these particular retrenchments of these nearly 1,000 workers. And we know that the contractors of at least 1,200 freelancers won't be renewed. Well, we saw today, workers from the SABC from two unions, BMAO and the Communication Workers Union, picketing here during 12 o'clock until 1 o'clock, handing over a memorandum to their bosses. In fact, the CEO of the SABC was the one who received this memorandum. At the heart of that, these workers saying that they want these job retrenchments plans by the SABC to be called off as a matter of urgency, saying that the public broadcaster must come up with other means of saving money or cutting costs if they're saying that they want to cut costs with retrenching these workers.
In fact, they've got specific ideas what these other means that you talk about, Malungelo, include. They include, in their view, cutting down on the use of consultants.
That's right. In fact, they're saying that using consultants is probably one of the biggest things that the SABC is known for, and they're saying that that needs to come to an end, and that's where they're saying that they would be able to actually cut costs. But here's another thing that they're saying that there's a need for government to speed up the process on digital terrestrial television migration. They're saying that with that would help build capacity in the SABC to sustain the current jobs and also create more job opportunities. They're saying to that if government actually, if that happens, that would be one of the things that would help the SABC. But also they're saying that there has to be a team that has to be formed by government, including the officials from the National Treasury, to assist the SABC to come up with funding models, to come up with how the SABC can make money, because they're saying that the SABC needs to be viable again. They're sure that with cutting of jobs, that will actually not help the SABC to make it viable. It was interesting when you're looking at some of the placards that some of these picketing employees held. They're talking about corruption and nepotism that needs to come to an end, and also saying that mismanagement has got to be dealt with by the SABC in order to be able to save money and cut costs.
And the suggestion, Malungelo, in the last few days we've seen some SABC employees wearing black as a form of silent protest against the looming job cuts. And now there seems to be a suggestion that there's some kind of, victimization of sorts that's taking place.
That's right. In fact, the number of people that the unions were expecting here to be part of this protest, it's not as great as they wanted, because one of the things that has come out, in fact, during this demonstration was that an email was sent to staff that they should not participate into this illegal gathering. If they do so, there would be reprisal. And of course, the union raising that to the management here when they were handing over the memorandum, saying that the victimization of staff needs to come to an end. And in fact, the unions warned the SABC bosses, if any of the employees that have taken part in these particular demonstrations, and also in this particular demonstration, if those workers are victimized, they would fight. In fact, they said that they would hold a sit-in here at the SABC. They're saying that they will not in any way tolerate the victimization of staff. Thulasizwe, I think it's also important to note that the demonstration that we saw here outside Auckland Park, it's also a demonstration that has been taking place in other regions at the SABC. Unions warning that if they do not get what they want come next week, Friday, well, they would shut down the SABC. They're saying that, Thulasizwe, they are resolute on their demands that the public broadcaster needs to call off this Section 89 because it will leave employees poor and off the streets, saying that an urgent, something urgent has to be done. We do know, though, that the first consultation with the CCMA is expected to take place next week on Tuesday amongst the parties.
All right, Malungelo, I can see that fly is really giving you a hard time, my good friend. So let me ask you just very quickly, did Madoda Mxakwe, the CEO, say anything upon receiving this memorandum of grievances?
Not much really, except that they will study the demands of these workers and respond in due course. It was also interesting to note, Thulasizwe, when the CEO was coming here, he was booed by those by the protesting employees, calling him a sellout.
All right, thanks, Malungelo. Let's leave you to get out of the way of that friend that seems to be wanting to be getting close to you there outside the SABC, following a very serious situation with one of the key institutions of our democracy, that is the SABC, facing job cuts.